Hey, third grade. Today we're going to be reading a text called Yusra Mardini. This is a biography, which means it's going to teach us information about this girl. Because when we read biographies, we're learning real information about a real person. So as you're reading, you should be thinking, what does the author want to teach me about her? And what impact has she had on the world? One word you're going to come across in this text is refugee. A refugee is somebody who has to flee their country, usually because of a war or something dangerous. So this girl, Yusra, is a refugee, and that means she had to flee her country. So when you come across that word, that's what that means. This story is also going to talk about the 2016 Olympics, and we know that Olympics are a sports game, so she's going to be competing in a sports game, and we're going to learn about why she has made a big impact on the world. Great. So, your first question after you read this text is, why did Yusra Mardini have to leave Syria? So you should be going back into the text and thinking about why she had to leave Syria. So I'm going to reread this first paragraph, and I want you to be thinking about what reason she had for leaving Syria. One of the most inspiring athletes of the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio, Brazil was Yusra Mardini. Mardini grew up in Syria. She swam for this country in many swimming competitions. She was going to swim in the Olympics for Syria, but then she had to flee from her home country in 2015. Syria was in the middle of a war, and it became dangerous for people to live there. She was only 17 years old at this time. So remember, the question's asking you why she had to leave her country. So you need to be thinking about, as you have read this paragraph, what caused her to have to leave her country. The next question is, the author describes how Mardini escaped from Syria. What is one thing she had to do to escape? So you should be looking and seeing, what is one thing she had to do in order to escape? Number 3, the text says that the boat's engine broke down. What evidence from the text best explains why this may have happened? So you're going to find where it says that the boat's engine broke down, and then you're going to think about what evidence best explains why the engine broke down. So you should be going back into the text where it says that the engine broke down. So it says, this boat was only supposed to hold 6 people. However, 20 people were on the boat. The engine broke down in the middle of the Aegean Sea, but only 3 passengers knew how to swim. One of them was Mardini. The 3 swimmers wanted to keep everyone alive, and they knew what they needed to do. The 3 girls dragged the boat across the sea for hours. After swimming for more than 3 hours, they brought the boat to land. So you're going to be thinking about what evidence explains why that engine broke down. What caused the engine to break? Number 4. After the boat's engine broke down, Mardini and 2 other passengers pulled the boat across the Aegean Sea. How can their actions best be described? So you want to think about which one of these traits would best describe their actions. Were they confusing, selfish, soothing, or brave? Which one of those words would you use to describe Mardini and the other passengers who pulled the boat across the sea? Number 5, what is the main idea of this text? Remember, when you think about main idea, we think about character, setting, problem, and solution. So you should go back, reread the text, and identify the character, setting, problem, and solution of this story. And think which one of those best includes the most important parts, the most important details of the text. Oh, sorry, this is a biography, so you should be thinking about those things, and you should also be thinking about what the author is teaching you about Yusra Mardini. Number 6. Please read the following sentences from the text. She was going to swim in the Olympics for Syria, but then she had to flee from her home country in 2015. Syria was in the middle of a war, and it became dangerous for people to live there. As used in this passage, what does the word flee mean? So you should be taking the word flee, and you should be inserting or putting in all of these 4 choices instead of the word flee to see which one makes the most sense or makes this whole sentence make sense. So I'm going to try it. She was going to swim in the Olympics for Syria, But then she had to flee from her country in 2015. That doesn't quite make sense. Then I'm going to try with jump. She was going to swim in the Olympics for Syria, but then she had to jump from her home country in 2015. That doesn't quite make sense either. You should try train and escape on your own and see which one of those options makes the most sense and makes the sentence make sense. 7. Please choose the answer that best completes the sentence below. So I'm going to insert, again, all 4 choices and see which one makes the sentence make sense. Let's try it. After Yusra Mardini and her sisters left Syria, Mardini trained in Berlin. So you're going to try all the choices and see which one is the best. 8. Why was Yusra Mardini unable to swim for Syria in the Olympics? So you should be going back into the text and seeing what made her unable to swim for Syria in the Olympics. 9. Yusra Mardini is a determined person who does not give up. What evidence from the text supports this statement? So determined means you don't give up ever and you're so hardworking. So if you're going to find some evidence that proves that she is so determined she never gives up. So you should be finding evidence that really proves that she never gives up. 10. Why do people think that Yusra Mardini is a hero? Support your answer with evidence from the text. So for this one, you're going to have to explain using your own words why people think that she is a hero, and then you're going to have to find evidence that also proves that she is a hero. Make sure that you explain why you chose that evidence and how that piece of evidence shows that Yusra is such a hero. I hope you enjoy reading this text today.